The Australian Grand Prix was an amazing curtain raiser to the 2025 F1 season. We have waited for F1 to be back and we are all excited. So much excited that people woke up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. For us, the race was at 6 a.m. Some people even went to venues at 6 a.m. to watch the race. That's how excited people are for Formula One. And yeah, so we were excited about the first race. It was a skidding competition of sorts because everyone was skidding out of the track. One wrong move and people were finding themselves, drivers were finding themselves in the barriers. Nobody hit no one, just spinning and going off track and just ending your race. Haja was the first casualty. He didn't even make it out of the formation lap. Jack Doohan and Carlos were the second casualties quite early on in the race also. I don't know what happened to Carlos, but both of them just ended up in the barriers. Team orders played out for McLaren, as we saw, where Piastri was told to hold position so that he doesn't overtake Lando. That didn't last long, so I don't think it affected anyone's race. But we saw later on in the race, Piastri did one wrong move and the track was pretty tricky. If you're out of the racing line, you just spin off. And some drivers were not lucky. Actually, Piastri was out of the race, or rather we thought he was out of the race until he was able to just keep the car running, and also he turned his car into a front wheel drive, reversed his way. I don't know how to reverse, so yeah, I thought that was pretty cool and impressive. Didn't give up, reversed his car, went back on track, one lap down, and for some reason, I think that McLaren has a lot of pace. He was able to catch up with the rest and even go back to points. It wasn't too hard because there were like only 14 drivers left on track, so it's like four drivers to overtake. His home race almost ended in disaster. He was a good contender for P2 or even P1, so I feel for him, but he has to try again next year. The most experienced driver crashing out was not something I expected. For the rookies, I get their lack of experience, the totally different car and modes of driving. Kimi really did well. Ollie also did well. They were the only rookies to finish the race, and actually Kimi did a good job coming in at P4 on his debut Formula One race. And at the end of the race, there was like a penalty issue, but was later rescinded, so he finished. They had put him at P5 after Alex, but later it was rescinded and he went back to P4. So I really think he showed a lot of good driving skills. There was a time he spun off the road, but it wasn't too crucial because he was able to go back. And I think the Mercedes has some good pace because they stayed with the McLaren of Lando. They stayed with the Red Bull of Max, and yeah, they finished off P3 and P4, so some good points for them there. There's usually some controversy to like how a car is or the capability of a car, but in this race I felt like the McLaren, Mercedes and Ferrari cars had almost the same capabilities. If you look at their drivers, they were not too far behind each other. Both of them, both of the team members of each of these teams were either one position ahead of the other, or even finishing one after the other, except for Piastri, of course, because of his incident. I think this race was sealed at the 44th to 48th lap, because after that, I think it's only Piastri and Kimi who made some gained some crucial position. Piastri overtaking Lewis Hamilton on the last lap really shows you the pace that this McLaren car has come with this season. I think it's the car to beat. And having gotten the Constructors' Championship last year, I think this year they are coming for everything. So the question is, will Piastri take the World Championship, or will Lando take the World Championship? Of course, it's just the first race. Anything can happen. Any team can come out on top. Any team can lead. Any driver can still come up on top. Things change, settings change, cars change. They tweak cars and it changes overnight. So I can't rule out anyone. Big losers this weekend are, of course, Yuki, Carlos, Hamilton, Leclerc, Alonso, and Yuki got a really good position to start with, so it was unfortunate that his team didn't back up his good performance in quali with a good strategy for the race. I don't even know what happened with Carlos. He's one of the big losers of this weekend. Winners from this weekend are, of course, Lando, P1, starting off the season well. Max, P2 is not too bad. Alex, of course. Kimi, he got a wonderful start to the race. Kick Sauber by Nico. I'm sure Haas are missing him already. They struggled to get points, and Nico got some really decent points in this race. Lance also is a big winner. When I saw an Aston Martin has spun out of the road, I actually thought it was Lance. Later to find out that it was actually Alonso. Ferrari strategy failed. I mean, they were the first teams to announce that rain was coming. I don't know why they were the last to do anything about it, or just act on it. You could hear from the radio that they were the first ones to announce that the rain is coming, but unfortunately they didn't follow up with the strategy in good time, and they were the last ones to, among the last ones to pit. Max also pitted late. I think if he would have pitted earlier, he might have actually gone to P1 and stayed there, because if he had inters, he would have not had to go and pit again, so probably he will have stuck out at P1 for a long time. For the shortest time, Hamilton and Leclerc ran 1-2, and unfortunately it got so wet and Ferrari was still on slicks, so it went south from there, because from 1-2 up to, actually we went out of the points. I think we got back to points after Gasly made that mistake on the track, and but I think it's okay because we got points. We've had worse outcomes where there's crashing out or the car just stalls, but at least we got points. Any points is better than no points. Yeah, but strategy really messed us. I think there was more communication about other unimportant things. I think even the drivers complained that there was a lot of information that wasn't really relevant. I think they would have stuck to debating about the strategy, the tire strategy, rather than bombarding the drivers with all this information that most likely they knew about. I think it was about the car, the settings, or whatever it was. McLaren have a good start. Mercedes have a good start. Let's see how it goes from there. As we know, with Formula One, a race can change everything. Any point in the season, anything can change. So this is the first race. Let's see what the teams have in store for us. Let's see what the drivers have in store for us. Lewis Hamilton, according to some internet users, it doesn't matter that you've proved yourself 8 times as the best in the world. They think you went to Ferrari to slay, and all I can say is you need to take charge of your races. Let the buck stop with you, so that anytime a race is done, if you say that you did all you could, it would be true. Let the buck stop with you. You can learn from Sainz, where sometimes he really pushed back on strategies. I think this is the approach both of you should take, you and Leclerc. And yeah, I wish you well. We are behind you. And all I can say is Forza Leclerc, Forza Hamilton, Forza Ferrari. I am Shiko. Have yourself a wonderful week. God bless.